Today we're going to talk about Earth's water. Our learning target is I will ask questions to determine where water is located on Earth's surface and communicate the relative proportion of water at each location. Let's observe this image of Earth. What do you notice about it? Make some observations using only this picture about Earth and write them below. Earth is known as the hydrosphere. And what that means, it means all the waters on Earth. Literally, it means water circle. Earth is made up of 75% water and 25% landmass. Of all of the water on Earth, so now we're back at 100%, okay? Of all of the water on Earth, 97% is salt water, while 3% is fresh water. So here's a graphic showing all of Earth. Remember, there's 25% land mass, 75% water, and of that water, the majority of it, 97%, is salt water, leaving only 3% fresh water. So what that means is, if it's salt water, it has a very high concentration of salt. If you've ever been to the beach and you can taste it on your lips, that's salt water. Fresh water has a low concentration of salt. That is what we're able to drink and consume. Fresh water is found in multiple places: ice caps and glaciers, groundwater, lakes, rivers, and swamps. Unfortunately, the majority of fresh water is locked in ice caps and glaciers. It's frozen, okay? And these glaciers cover 10% of Earth's land surface. Because of this, we cannot consume this frozen water. So of that 3%, 68.7% is frozen. We cannot consume it. 30.1% is found in aquifers, which we can consume, and the remaining 1.2% is found in surface water. So groundwater is found in what we call aquifers. So this is where we get our water from our sinks for our bath water. Okay, so an aquifer is a layer of permeable rock that lets water move freely. Okay, so in this graphic, this is an aquifer, and it is underground. So the components or the parts of an aquifer are an impermeable layer. Impermeable means that water cannot pass through. Permeable layer. Water can pass through spaces between rock and sand. If there are spaces, we call something like this porous. It has pores or spaces. Then there's a saturated zone in an aquifer. It's an area where all the pores between rocks are filled. We also have a water table. That's the upper surface of the saturated zone, or the top of the saturated zone. So let's take a look at that. This is an aquifer. We have the layer of impermeable rock. There's no water that can get down there because water cannot pass through. It's impermeable. Then we have porous rock, and that makes our permeable layer. Well, this porous rock is saturated. It's filled with groundwater. There's more porous rock, but it is not saturated with groundwater. Therefore, the water table, which is the top of the saturated zone, is right here. Then we have the surface where we would walk. And then this is a well that goes down into the saturated layer. Here is another graphic. You have the bedrock, which would be your impermeable layer. the saturated zone, which is your permeable layer. Unsaturated zone, it's still permeable layer, it just is not saturated. Meaning your water table is right here because this is the top of the saturated zone. And you have your well accessing that water. Use your notes to answer your essential question. And again, keep in mind your learning target.